Should I say fiance? I'm
Ah.
fiance, guys. I see from the corner of my eye the cutters. Most of the people that are cutting were actually old people. This is a crime.
If I was OP, you know what I would do?
What?
To be petty.
Don't do it. Don't do it. That smells nice. Who's cooking?
I just watched a movie this week, and I haven't watched a movie in a while, but this was
Oh.
all over my feed.
What movie was it?
Inside Out 2.
I've been wanting to watch that. I didn't watch it
Have
yet.
you heard of it?
Yeah. I watched the
Did
first
you
one. It
watch
was really
one?
good. Yeah.
Okay, what did you guys think about Inside Out 2? Because I thought it was so good.
People have been saying that. I really want to watch it.
It's one of those movies where, and my husband and I, we agree on this, you understand it more when
Mhm.
you're older.
Aw.
So the animation is geared towards kids and children, but I felt like it touched a part of me that was like an older kid.
Aw.
And it kind of healed my inner child. Same thing with Inside Out 2. I'm wondering if these stories are going to make you question, is there a better way to look at these situations now that you're older? Could you have looked at it in a different way?
From
Are
a
these
different perspective?
Well, yeah, with a different
Yeah.
lens, are these okay? Was it okay to do? Now, I want to welcome you guys to another episode of Honey Hearts. I'm your host, Sandra.
And I'm your listener for today, V.
Let's get into these stories. So, first story comes from r/AITAH, titled, Am I the a-hole for not telling my ex-wife that I reversed my vasectomy?
Oh.
My ex-wife, Jen, 38 female, and I, 42 male, were married for 8 years before divorcing during the pandemic 4 years ago. You know, sometimes I forget that happened.
Pandemic was a whirlwind.
We have 2 kids together, 13 male, 10 female, who we share custody of and co-parent well together. At her suggestion, I got a vasectomy after our daughter was born. I got remarried about a year ago to my new wife, Carrie, 34 female. Carrie does not have kids but has always wanted a family. After many discussions prior to our engagement, I agreed to reverse my vasectomy to try to start a family with Carrie. I had the reversal procedure done just after our wedding. That's a very big decision.
Yeah, that's huge. Wow.
Wow, he's dedicated. Carrie and I found out about a month ago that she is pregnant. She is currently about 15 weeks. We have not told anyone about the pregnancy until recently. I wanted to wait until I had an opportunity to tell my kids in person that they are going to have a younger sibling. Now that they are done with school, I had that chance this past weekend. Both of my kids were very excited and happy to hear the news. They get along great with Carrie and are excited to have a new baby bro or sister. After I told my kids, they wanted to call their mom and tell her about it too. I was a little apprehensive because I didn't know how Jen would react and tried to convince them to let me tell her first, but my son ended up telling her via text before that.
Ay-ya. That's an ay-ya moment. Oh.
Well, should it matter though? They're divorced.
I don't think it matters, but I think in hindsight, it probably would have been smarter to tell Jen first before you go tell her kids or your kids, who will then inevitably blab to their mom.
Yeah.
Jen
sent me a text a few minutes later, basically asking WTF. I was thinking. OP literally typed WTF. I texted her back saying that I would prefer not to have this conversation over text and asked if she was free for a chat. She said she wasn't and sent a flurry of texts asking me a bunch of questions. I again told her I would prefer to have this conversation in person or on the phone. She finally called me later that night and was not happy. She told me that I should have told her I reversed my vasectomy so that she could talk to her kids about it. I told her that my body and my life with Carrie is not her business and that neither of our kids even know I had a vasectomy, let alone know what a vasectomy is. I've never told them I had one, so why would I tell them I reversed it? She told me that since this is going to have a huge impact on our kids' lives, that I should have told her about it first. She said that it is her business when
Mm.
it will directly impact our kids. I told her that it is my body and that my health choices are not of no concern to her anymore. The conversation started getting heated and I ended the call before things got too far. Jen has since calmed down and did send a text congratulating me and Carrie, but she still maintains that I should have notified her of my decision to reverse my vasectomy before things got to the point where Carrie is pregnant. She thinks that she had a right to know since it will impact our kids. I think she has no right to any information regarding what I decide to do with my body unless it is life threatening. My marriage and life with Carrie is not information that my ex wife has any right to. And that is the end of OP's story. I think there's a lot to debate here. Do you think was it okay that OP didn't tell his ex-wife about his vasectomy reversal?
I think it is okay. I agree with him that your relationship is over. Beyond the shared parental responsibilities, it's over. His body, his decision making. I'm okay with him on that point, on not telling the wife, or let me rephrase this,
Well,
not telling the wife before he had it
ex-wife.
done.
Ex-wife.
Ex-wife, before telling the ex-wife before he had the procedure done. I'm fine with him keeping that secret
Mhm.
because again, his decision. She shouldn't have any influence over that.
Well, can you see why she might be upset? It does in fact impact the kids'
But
lives.
that's like saying my thing is that's like saying, "Oh, before OP gets to try for a kid, he better inform his ex-wife, "Hey, I'm gonna try for a kid."
It sounds weird when you put it like that.
See, because if her concern is the consequence
Mhm.
of you having kids will impact our shared kids, fine. But he shouldn't need to report to her if he wants to procreate with his current wife.
Yeah, when
It
you
it
put it
makes it
like that.
weird.
Well, okay, so
It's weird.
it feels like his ex-wife is all up in his business.
Literally. She wants
Um,
to know everything that's happened down there.
I think once they're divorced, she has no right to know.
Like, you're done. That's it.
He's not obligated to tell her anything.
No,
If she was to be pregnant, does she have to tell him that she's planning to get pregnant before she tries to get pregnant
that's
again?
weird. No,
And what
no.
effect? I understand it's a big impact on their lives, but it's not a negative impact. Just, oh, I'm gonna have a
Right.
baby, like a baby sibling.
The only scenario in which I can see that she has a right to be that involved in his whole vasectomy situation is if she would be responsible for any way for his kid, for his
Mhm.
next kid.
I guess, yeah, you're right. She might be thinking, oh, well, now I will have to plan to incorporate this new
Yeah,
child
in
into
that case,
my life
fine,
too.
right?
I
But
get that.
I don't think that's the expectation for OP here. It seems like, we are going to co-parent, but my kid is my kid, and we're going to co-parent our kids.
Yeah. So, I mentioned the movie Inside Out at
Yeah.
the beginning of the episode. I'm imagining the little emotions inside their heads fighting with each other. No, we're gonna go. What is it? Anger, and then we're gonna go. What is
Surprise,
it?
shock, or envy, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well, a little snippet for you guys. I haven't watched Inside Out 2, but Inside Out is basically a Disney animation film,
Mhm.
and it centers on main character who is a young girl, Riley, I think her name was.
Yes.
And basically for every emotion that you feel, they kind of made a character out of each emotion. Like anger is a character,
Joy,
joy, sadness.
sadness.
So if we're
Mhm.
referencing little characters, that's what we're talking about.
Right. And just a tiny spoiler, but I think it's not too
Mhm.
much. In Inside Out 2, there's new emotions that she
Ooh.
experiences, including anxiety, which is a big emotion.
Mhm.
I feel that in the ex-wife's
Mhm.
mind, there is a little anxiety character in
Not so
her.
little when whoop.
Yeah, well, you have to watch the movie.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but for
Oh,
those
I
of
wanna
you
watch
who
it.
have watched it, you know what I'm talking about. I can see anxiety in the ex-wife's mind just wreaking havoc and making her go, "Well, you should have told me. Now I got to plan for all of this. What am
Right.
I going to do when, the kids want to hang out with their half sibling and I only want to include them on a family trip, but now I have to incorporate." I can
Mhm.
think of many scenarios in which
Yeah.
she might have a little anxiety regarding that. So maybe it's not so much as this new sibling is going to impact the the kids'
Yeah.
lives, but it's also going to impact her life.
I think that conversation you need to have it. OP needs to have it with his ex-wife for sure, but it definitely comes after. I don't think he owed her the whole, "Hey, I'm gonna try for a kid now with my new next
Yeah, that's
wife,"
true.
because then it becomes a little bit too personal. It is his responsibility. I think OP's ex-wife would be worrying too much if she's already jumping the gun and thinking, years down the line, like
Mhm.
our family trips and all of that. Because ultimately, OP's kid is his kid. He'll need to worry about all of that. Expectation shouldn't be on and the ex-wife.
There's also a little common sense to it too.
Yeah.
He got married again.
Mhm.
Im It's not that surprising that they're trying for a kid.
Right? Why does he I guess she never thought that he would reverse it.
Mm,
She must have had some odd expectation, and when he acted outside of those expectations, she's was probably taken aback.
yeah.
But still,
But
I'm
he's
still with
not
OP here.
honestly, he's not yours anymore. You don't really have a right to
Be upset over it
be
like
upset
that.
about what he does with his own parts.
Now, once he chose to make the decision though, I will say, not that it makes him an a-hole, but it kind of makes him a little blind in hindsight of, hey, you had to have known if you told your kids.
Yeah.
Your kids someone would fess up to your
Kids
ex-wife.
can't keep a secret. Come on.
No, come on.
Comments say, not the a-hole. My dad got a vasectomy when my parents were married, then got it reversed and later redone. I wonder what led to that.
Oh, wow.
When he and my stepmom had my brother. I was like 17 and then he got the reversal. I cannot overstate how much I wish I hadn't known about any of it. So the kids don't even want to know.
Well, here's an interesting question. Why did the kids have to know?
All they had to know was that they're going to have another sibling.
Yeah, because the kids didn't even know about the vasectomy in the first place. So why?
I'm starting to
Why?
feel like ex-wife used the kids as a way to,
Justify her feelings?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just wants to vent.
Yeah.
Another comment says, I agree with you. Your body, your business.
Mhm.
Once the divorce was final, she lost our right to lecture about your choices. As far as the kids go, you're their dad and have as much say in their lives as she does. She doesn't have to like it, but it's really none of her business, not the a-hole.
Yeah. Summed it up nicely.
hmm
My vote, not the a-hole. I agree with comments.
I also don't think OP's the a-hole. Sure, he could have told the wife or the ex-wife before he told the kids. But ultimately, I think she's making it a bigger deal than it
Ah,
actually is.
it's not that deep.
It's really not that deep. Plenty of people have kids again after getting married or remarried. So, do you think it was okay?
I
That
thought it was fine.
it's
He could have gone
okay.
about it better, but that's fine.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I know you're listening out there. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button below. All right. So, our next story also, we're exploring the question, is this okay? A little
Mm.
moral questioning in this one. Let's get into it. So this is from r slash am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole in line at TSA? Couple wanted to cut through. I said no. So that title is pretty short and sweet, but it paints a picture of what we're getting
Hmm.
into.
I feel like a first story was almost like playing game easy mode. Is this okay easy? This one just turned it up a notch, medium level.
So I'm asking you guys, is this okay? In the longest line I've seen at this airport, cursing myself for not showing up earlier, we get in line 10 minutes and three people cut through just saying sorry and pushing by. About halfway through the line at 30 minutes, a couple comes pushing through and I said, no, get in line. They said they would miss their flight and I said, everyone is worried about that and we all showed up on time. I don't know why, but I was triggered by the entitlement of all the cutters pushing through hundreds of people. But I put my foot down with this couple. I've been late and had to run to the plane before. I didn't cut. I was prepared to spend money I didn't have on another ticket and my own mistake. Guess what? We do better with our time now. Not sure if they missed their flight or not. They went off running after TSA. So am I the a-hole for not letting every cutter by, or for letting any cutters by, or being selective when my patients run out? Are they the a-holes for showing up late and expecting everyone else to accommodate? So it's a little short and sweet story, but I really wanted to know what you thought about, is it okay, would you have let this couple cut in line so that they made their flight? Or is this a, "No, get in line, we got here when we got here"?
I have to say, before I didn't notice it as much, but now having traveled to other countries and experiencing other cultures a lot more, my hatred for cutting has increased exponentially.
Oh, do you have a story? It sounds personal.
Oh, yeah. I'll share my little story, and that will be the reason for why I will say what I'm about to say with this stories and
Oh.
situation. So, I recently went on a trip to Vietnam, and I went to Bana Hills, which is, imagine low-key mixture of Disneyland on a mountain,
Yeah.
almost like that. So there's some natural sights, there's some landmarks there, it's nice to see,
Mhm.
very amusement park-esque type of vibes. So I'm going, and on our way up there, there's maybe a few escalators you have to take because it is up a mountain. Like, not only do you have to drive there, you take a bus there, and then there's another stop there. You go up a few escalators, and then you take about like a 30 some minute, is it trolley? I'm forgetting what it's called. What is the thing where you sit in a cart and it
Um,
goes up mountain?
oh, what is
You
that
have it on
called?
like a ski lift thing, but it's not a ski lift.
But
What is
it's
that?
in a cart.
Yeah, it's in a cart. I'm forgetting what it's called. Okay, pictures.
Let us know in the
Let
comments.
us know. We're struggling here. But a ski lift thing, basically.
Like, there's lines that go up or
Yes.
down,
And
and
it's not
then
zip lining,
you're
but
in a,
you're in a cart and it basically lifts you up. Wow, this is terrible. I hope you guys get it.
please let us know what it's called. We're struggling.
If you don't get it, just picture a ski lift, but in an encased pod that you can sit in and enjoy the views as you go up a mountain.
I get it. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. I just can't think of what it's called.
So there's a lot of almost like little, I want to say terminals that you have to go through in order to get to that point.
Mhm.
Now, imagine this, anyone who wants to enter Bana Hills, it's crowded. You're going to have people
Yeah.
and tourists, a lot of different people, a lot of tourists, everyone from everywhere of all ages, whatever, families, kids, elderly, everyone's trying to go through the same entrance. There's no separate entrance. Everyone goes to the same one.
Mhm.
I'm going, and generally, I think human nature is you form a general line.
Yeah, everybody knows.
If we want to call it, it's almost like not a single file line, but almost like a four-way line. Let's call it like that. So you go up. I see from the corner of my eye the cutters.
Mm.
And so happens it is this couple with two kids. And they're holding their kids and they're saying hi to everyone and they're smiling.
Do they know the people they're saying hi to?
No.
So they're just randomly going, "Hi."
Yeah, but then they're
Huh.
cutting. They're using it as it looks like a cutting method. So as they're
That
weaving
sounds so
themselves through,
awkward.
it is. It's very awkward. They're weaving through this crowd, but they're pulling their kids along, almost like in their mannerisms, in which they're like, come on, kid, come on, little Sammy, little Timmy, whatever." They're pulling these kids along, but they're also making a gap as they walk through. So they're cutting past people while they're doing this, and they're saying hi. But it
Ah.
feels like, without them saying it, it feels like they're using the kids as some sort of shield. Like, oh, we're a family with kids, and we're going up, and we're gonna cut, and no one says anything. Now, at first,
Until they met you. Is that where
no,
you're
I
going?
wish.
Oh.
I wish. At first, because of their mannerisms saying hi, I'm thinking, oh, maybe they got separated from their group, so I'm not gonna comment.
Mhm.
But then I quickly realized they do this to every single group, and they're basically speed walking through and cutting past like 50 people.
Did they get stopped? Did anyone stop them?
No.
So
And
they
I
got
think
away with it.
yes, they got away with it. And it kills me. It just completely annoys the heck out of me.
Yeah.
Because, dude, we're all going to the same place. You're going to cut 50 people to get there what? 5 minutes earlier than everyone else? For what? We're all going in the same place. Why are you cutting? Just
Like, was there an urgent situation? One
no.
kid had to go potty or
You would think
something?
no. Because like I said, all that cutting that got them, we have to all take the pods, and those pods only like fit like 5, 8 people maybe. So
Mhm.
you're still gonna have to be where we are. Like, come on, dude. All of that cutting for what?
Mm.
I'm not a big fan of cutting because I don't get it. Like, one, I feel like there's public courtesy. Some level of public courtesy is, hey, I got here before you. I almost earned this spot before
I
you.
planned for it.
I planned for it. So
Right.
why didn't you? So I feel OP's pain, especially with TSA. No one likes going through TSA. Let me tell you that. No one
Mhm.
enjoys this process. It is a pain that we live with, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But your emergency does not
It's not
justify it.
someone else's
Yeah.
emergency.
It doesn't become someone else's
So,
responsibility.
I don't know
So,
about you, but well, actually I do. Cuz we've traveled before. Um I like to get to the airport 2-3 hours
yeah.
early. Probably 3 if I can help
Yeah.
it. Um I usually like to arrive very early because I'm the type who needs to get through TSA as fast as
Mhm.
possible, go straight to my gate, look at it, and go, ah, that's where it
Yeah, like the
is.
peace of mind. You have the peace
Uh-huh.
of mind of you're not rushing. If something
And
unexpected
I
comes up,
don't
you can
mind
react.
just chilling at the
Mhm.
airport for the next 2 hours. I'm okay with that. It's a peace of mind. Now, I have been in a situation where I had to run and rush to my flight though. So it
Ooh.
was we took one plane to another
Oh, like a
airport.
connecting
And
flight?
yeah, it was a connecting flight. It was a layover. However, there was a winter storm, and so
Oh.
the wings were frozen, and they had to
Oh,
put
man.
antifreeze or something
Mhm.
on the plane. According to the pilot, it should have only taken 10 minutes, but for some reason it took them 3 hours.
That's a big jump.
Yeah,
I'm expecting, 20
to coat
minutes instead of
our
10.
plane in antifreeze, and it's not just our plane; it's a bunch
Wow.
of planes all lined up. Um, so we were going to be late. We were going to miss our connecting flight.
Oh, man.
When we landed at the second airport, everybody on our flight, we had to go to customer service, and they all were helping people who were missing their flights. When we got to the front, the was it the rep said that there was a flight leaving right now that can get you to where you need to go,
Oh.
but they're boarding now. Final boarding is literally right now. So if you can run to this gate within the next 5 minutes, I will call them and tell them to try to hold it for you.
That's stressful.
So my husband and we booked it, and I haven't ran in a long time. I do other activities, but running is not one of them, okay?
I'm just imagining you frantically
I
trying to make this flight.
my husband was like, "Oh, give me your bag, your duffel bag. I will carry it for you. Just run as fast as you can." And we booked it to the gate. And when we got to the gate, they just left. They just closed boarding and was already gone. The reps there, they're like, "Oh, yeah, we got the call, but they had to go." They didn't wait for us, and they literally just left a minute before we got there. Never have I ran so hard
So
for
n
nothing.
so having, I guess, both the experience of rushing for a flight and also being the person that's on time.
But I still would not cut
Yes.
because everybody in that line for customer service,
Mhm.
we respected each other's place,
Yeah.
and nobody asked for special treatment.
Yeah.
We all stood in our line. We dealt and had to deal with what we needed to figure out for the delay. Um, Half of us were on our phones with our whatever, our travel
Mhm.
agents and stuff, and everybody just was working together, and we just, waited in line until we got to the front. I did think to myself, if only we had got in line sooner, or if
Yeah.
we were more in front, we would have made that flight.
Right.
But either way, I still wouldn't cut.
See, it's interesting because I don't know if you remember when we went to Japan, Sandra and I went to Japan
Right.
together a few years ago. Wait, last year?
Last
Oh,
year. It was
feels
just
so
last
long
year.
ago.
I
I
know
want to go
we need
again.
to go to
We
another
need to go
trip.
again. But when we went, Notice how people were how respectful people were in the lines. No one
Yes.
cut. It was unspoken. No one was being rude. No one's in too much in your space. Japan, lines are normal, guys. Everyone queues up for lunch, for
So
shopping,
much
for
patience.
everything.
We went to wait for this very popular fluffy pancake place,
Oh,
and it
oh
was
man.
middle of the summer, and
Hot.
it was very hot. Everybody's waiting in line. We waited over an hour for pancakes, but nobody complained. I mean, obviously we were like, oh, it's hot, but
Yeah,
no
it's
one
not hungry.
is
No one's
throwing
trying
a
to
fit.
no one's trying to cut. No
And
one's
there was
like
a
being
couple who
weird.
decided that they couldn't wait in line anymore.
Mhm.
They're like, let's just get food from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
The culture is different.
it is different. I do think even if you're in a rush, I guess you can ask
You can ask if
for help,
yeah.
but if someone says no, that's it. You can't be mad at them because they planned to get there and got their spot when they did.
I hate to say it, but my experience in the US, maybe it's different. Maybe it's just a few minute experiences I've had, but you guys can correct me if you had really pleasant experiences in the US when it comes to lines. It feels like almost like a normal that there are going to always be cutting. I don't know why it's
Yeah.
more normalized here, where people, whether it's queuing for a restaurant or queuing for a concert or venue, whatever,
I've experienced it during a concert, right?
people cut like crazy. I don't get
You know
it.
what I don't like? I don't like when queuing up for a or lining up for a concert,
Mhm.
one person is in front of you, right?
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, they have 5 friends coming.
Oh
"Oh,
my
hey, I'm
God.
here." And they join that one person in their spot in front of you. So now you're 4 people
No,
behind or
no,
5 people behind,
I don't like that.
but they
No,
do it all the
the
time,
only time I can condone that is if, hey, they were already waiting since whatever time the
right?
original first friend were in line, and maybe they literally had to go to the bathroom and came right back. And they literally explained that, like, they're like,
Mhm.
"Hey guys, I was here. I was just going to the bathroom. Like, I'm not asking you to hold your bathroom needs for the line. I get it because you were already there.
Right.
I don't understand the whole.
But they just got there. They just got there, and they're lining up right with their friend who got there earlier.
And it's not even. I don't think it's even limited to age too, because I was telling you the cutting. I saw that one family in Bana
Oh,
Hills.
yeah, yeah.
Most of the people that are cutting were actually not just families with kids. Old people,
Uh,
old elderly grandmas and grandpas.
how do you
They were
say
just
no to
shoving.
them?
You know what's crazy? They'll push you.
Oh.
I was
So
flabbergasted.
they're
They're
not
not
like, "Excuse me, excuse me." They're like, "Ugh."
elbowing you out the I'm like, "Excuse me, granny."
Wow.
And I feel like there's a little bit of shame when it comes to cutting, I think. So wouldn't you try to make your presence smaller and not bigger?
Mhm.
And shoving people like, "Move." I'm like,
Wow.
"Grannies." I'm just like, "Excuse you?" And then they walk
I
like they
thought
own
they'd
the
be
place.
cute little grannies just going, "Excuse me, excuse me." I think that's fine. Well, it's fine to say excuse me, it's not fine to
Not a cut.
cut, but to shove? Oh my goodness.
I was pissed.
Uh,
It made me miss Japan
you
even
didn't tell me
more.
about this.
I forgot. I just dredged up a horrible memory. I was like, "Ugh."
Well, now I turn the question to you guys. Was it okay to turn down the couple that wanted to cut? Would you have would you have let them through? I mean,
No, no.
maybe we just had really negative experiences, but there could be exceptions. I'm not going to knock that possibility.
Like, look, if you let them cut because they're emergency and they asked you and they explained to you, fine. But
Mhm.
I don't think that the cutter should ever expect the how do I say this? The
The
go ahead,
grace
the grace, the
from everyone
unspoken
else.
grace to everyone else. Yeah.
Yeah. So comment is saying similar. Comment says, not the a-hole. Other people's poor planning is not your emergency. I feel like we said that exact line. If they want to be entitled and not wait in the normal line, then they can pay for clear or other options to expedite the line. It's okay to empathize with people as no one expected the line to be this long, but that doesn't give them the right to jump ahead of people waiting. That is very true. Poor planning on their part is not your emergency. Another comment says, oh, this is a little story from a commenter. A few years ago, I was at LAX. There were only 2 security lines open because none of the other scanners were working. The lines
Oh.
were more than an hour to get through. Airport staff walked the long lines, asking if anyone needed to get there to their gate and ushered those to the front of the line. I totally agree with what you did. You can't just show up with less than an hour to get to your flight and expect those that plan to let you ahead. Airports have an app you can check for wait times for security. So it seems like if it was an emergency, the airport staff, they're equipped to help,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know if it's for all airports, but I know for many, if you explain, like, again, if you take the initiative to voice your concern, ask for help, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Whereas expecting it without any context or anything, that just makes you a jerk.
Yeah. It gets really awkward too when you have to tell them, no, I got here first.
It feels so elementary. No, I was here first. Like the fact that you have
Get
to
to the
tell
back of
someone
the
that
line.
back of the line.
And then last comment, I had people who were on my flight try to cut me once. So after I told them that, they asked someone nicer in front of me. Main characters, man. I guess that's true. Some people are in their main character, what is it, filter lens
Main character
mindset
era or
thing. Yeah.
something.
Oh, well, I, it's sometimes they don't recognize that other people planned to be there early and they just feel entitled that, oh, well, I didn't plan, but whatever. I'm just going to ask someone and they better be nice enough to let me through.
You know what's interesting though? I've heard from someone before. I think I was watching a YouTube video and it was about someone who was traveling and they were all trying to get on the same train.
Uh huh.
And this lady and her daughter basically tried to cut in front of the YouTubers, like in front of the line. So in front of the YouTuber or
Caught
something.
on camera.
Caught on camera. And I think I watched it with my boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Or should I say fiance? I'm a
Ah!
fiance, guys. But casually flexing. Like I watched it with my fiance, and I remember what my fiance said. He said, letting the cutter, like the person was debating whether or not to let the person cut in front of them. They ultimately chose not to because lady and her daughter was rude about it and it kind of
Uh,
expected it. But my fiance made a comment when we were watching this, and he said, well, if you let the cutter cut in front of you, that makes you the a-hole for everyone else you're standing in line in front of.
that's so true because they get backed up.
Yep, because you just basically messed with everyone else's day and delayed everyone else's time by you saying yes to the cutter just because you
Good
felt
point.
bad for
That's a
one
very good
person.
point.
So that comment just reminded me of that.
Mm-hmm. That's why you have to say no, even though it's awkward.
Stop the cutters.
How do you guys tell people no?
No,
I'm pretty sure you guys out there have a story because it's so common.
that's so sad that
From
everyone has a cutter
school
story.
to travel to whatever. I need to know, how did you guys handle the situation? Because I have so many more stories of cutting. They'll be told another time now that I
Mhm.
remember them.
That triggered up the whole like slew of memories.
Yeah, but let us know. So we're gonna move on to our last story where I'm also asking you, is this okay?
Level 3 unlocked.
This is from r/slash am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for wanting my roommate's boyfriend to stop eating my groceries even though he pays for them?
Oh. Oh, I was ready to say something and then I went, "Ooh." Ooh.
So I, 27 male, live with my roommate Sarah, 26 female. Things have been good except for one thing. Her boyfriend Sean, 28 male. Sean stays over a lot, like several nights a week. Honestly, it wouldn't be a huge deal except for the food situation. This dude has a serious appetite and he seems to think the fridge is a free for all. Here's the twist. Whenever he eats something of mine, he immediately Venmos me the money every single time. And
Wow.
usually for a little more than it's worth. Last week, he devoured half my carton of almond milk, my morning coffee essential, and instantly sent me $5. It's kind of annoying, but hey, at least he's paying me back, right? Here's the problem. It disrupts my grocery planning. The constant need to replace food throws off my schedule. Plus, it's just inconsiderate. Like, shouldn't he at least ask before polishing off my favorite yogurt? The other day, I got a Venmo payment for $50 and came home to find Sean cooking a giant lunch spread with all the ingredients I just bought. I calmly explained that while I appreciate him paying me back, I'd prefer him to ask before grabbing my stuff. He apologized. Sarah seemed a little miffed, and the tension was thick. Now, Sarah thinks I'm being petty because Sean always reimburses me right away and with interest. Am I the a-hole for wanting some respect for my groceries, even if I get paid back? I hear you cackling.
I'm trying to hold it in. I just have a question. We've had quite a few stories like this. What is with people and food thievery? Food thieving? Food stealing.
All of the above.
Just, this is a crime. As a foodie, I stand against this.
But he pays them back. Or he pays OP back. With interest, because he pays maybe a little bit more than what they're worth.
Okay, I feel like that's the bare. I mean, it's nice and respectful of him to pay for what he consumed, yes. But once or twice, or when he asks for permission, is fine. But boy, why are you treating her like the roommate shared fridge situation like it's a grocery store? That's what you do.
So what I think is,
Oy.
even though you're paying them back for the grocery itself, you're not paying them back for the time it took to pick up the groceries and bring them back, and for them to replace those groceries so that OP can eat too. In a way, they're treating OP like an Instacart.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, are they paying the Instacart fees?
Right? I would start charging, well, delivery would have been this much, and service fee would have been this much. And also, I need
Tip.
to eat.
And tip.
I am so confused here.
Because what's the point of grocery shopping if you're just not going to have groceries? If I was OP, you know what I would do?
What?
To be petty, I just wouldn't buy groceries for a while and just eat out.
Oh, yeah.
Or eat at someone else's place.
Or I would literally have a cheap mini fridge and start stockpiling my food in just my room.
Right.
And maybe put a lock on it too.
Yeah.
This is so weird. You know what's
The
funny?
mini fridge is a great idea. I'm still stuck on that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest now, not for this purpose, but I like the idea of having a mini fridge. Me being a foodie, but then that'll be so dangerous because
that's so dangerous for you.
Like, always,
just reach
I wake up, I'm like,
down.
oh, let me get a snack. You know what? Let me get another one. Oh, before I sleep,
Is this
I'm like,
a Christmas present hint or something? Should I note this down?
Don't do it. Don't indulge me. Don't enable me, Sandra. It's a nice idea. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling our future self, don't you dare.
I'm getting mixed signals.
Don't do it. It's bad. Although I do hear that mini fridges apparently run a lot of electricity.
They do?
Yeah.
You would think
For
they
what
run
size
less.
yeah, you would think so, but apparently for their size, they're pretty inefficient.
Really?
That's what I heard. It could be a lie that I was told to prevent me from getting a mini fridge, though.
And we'll stick to that lie.
You know what it reminds me of? So in college, this was a big thing where I would visit my one of my best friends in college, and she lived in the dorm on campus. They always had an issue with food thievery. People would not only take each other's foods, but would also steal each other's bowls, utensils, you name it, whatever. And
I
then
had a friend whose ice cream bars kept getting stolen
that's so funny.
by her roommate's boyfriend as well. Is this a common theme?
Apparently. Because one time I was bringing my dumplings. I made some shrimp dumplings, shrimp and pork dumplings. And I was heating it up at her place. And so I'm heating up and I'm having fun. Like hyenas, I tell you. I see by the door a bunch of her floor mates just creep out and go, that smells nice. Who's cooking? And I'm like, oh my God, this is like like apocalypse.
That's kind of like
area.
when
What
you
is
break
going on?
open the wet food for the cats and
then
you
the
pull
cats
the
come
lid.
running?
You pull the lid, it's like,
And then the cats
are
come
like,
running. What's that?
It smells delicious.
Yeah, it just felt like that. Because when I was there heating my dumplings, there was no one there, I tell you, on the floor. All I did was heat it on the pot. So it does smell like dumplings, I guess. And all I hear behind me, what's that?
Wow.
I was like, what is going on here? I was peeved that day because I lost 3 of my dumplings. Yes.
I was going to ask, did
I
they
lost 3
take any?
dumplings.
I
You
feel
offer
for
one
you.
to be
I feel
nice.
for you so much.
You offer one to be nice, and more people pop up, and you're like, I suppose.
It's
You
like,
can also have one.
what is that when you're at school and you open a bag of chips?
Yes.
All of a sudden,
Can I have a chip? Can I have a chip or a pack of gum? Can I have one? Can I
and
have
all of a sudden you're left with like 2 pieces.
if even that. Did I even get any at this point?
Let's see what the comments say. So comment says, not the a-hole, going shopping is also time. Exactly. Choosing what you buy is also important. So if someone grabs your food you bought for a specific meal and then come home to an empty fridge is absolutely rude. Even if he pays you, you can't eat the money, and ordering food is more expensive than just cooking for yourself. So OP's getting robbed.
Yes. It's a highway robbery, if I do say so myself.
Mm-hmm. I am not okay with that. I wouldn't be okay with the money as compensation. I don't think they're getting paid enough. Another comment says, not the a-hole, your pantry is not a shop. You're not exchanging goods for cash. Like a grocery store.
OP's fridge is literally one of those grocery stores where it's like, I leave the money, honor system. I send you money, I
Yeah.
take the food. What in the
More than
world?
that, when you sell something, you are offering the items in exchange for money. They are taking the items and compensating you for loss. Taking without permission is theft, regardless of whether they pay you for what they stole. Tell Sarah and Sean that you are happy to occasionally share your groceries. I do not agree with that.
No.
You don't have to be okay. You don't have to share
Start
if you don't
labeling
want
everything. This is mine. This OP's name on everything.
but only with prior permission. And that the next time they steal something and expect cash to make it okay, you require $50 compensation on top for the time you have to waste going and rebuying the groceries. They can consider it a delivery fee, or they can order their groceries direct. Yes, I agree with that. So that's what I'm saying. It takes time and effort to go pick up groceries. OP is not being compensated for that. With interest, I don't think it's with interest. I still think it's a loss.
She might as well tack on emotional suffering fees on this.
Yeah.
I would be so
Mini
livid.
fridge. Mini fridge.
Mini fridge fun. I would literally be so pissed because when I buy groceries, guys, I don't know about you, I get super excited about what I'm about to eat. I'm a food planner too. Okay. I get excited. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, I picked up some treats for myself for this week. I'm gonna have this for lunch, this for dinner. Oh, that's gonna be so good. I can only imagine her heartbreak when she opens the fridge to find nothing.
Nothing. And then you have to go back and pick it up all over again. There's 2 of them. There's the roommate and then the roommate's boyfriend. Are neither of them capable of grocery shopping?
And why is the roommate giving her the stink eye? Excuse me?
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
what? For being very normal? Like, hey, let me know before you do that, please. And roommate's like,
OP, I think you have the green light from us to steal their groceries if they buy any.
I mean, if they're gonna be like that, okay, let's play that game. I take
Mhm.
your food, then I give you a little bit of cash, like digital cash in return. If that's how it's gonna be, everyone's having a shared experience.
They're treating OP like a free
Yep.
delivery service.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it is. So, do you guys think it's okay? Do you think OP should just let it go? Are we being too critical of the exchange here because they are paying OP back in a way? Let us know in the comments below.
And if you haven't yet, don't forget to like this episode and hit the subscribe button. Get us to 15K, guys, and give us 5 stars on Spotify.
Woo,
See you guys.
bye.
Bye.